Hey guys, how's it going? It's Stein, and today I thought we'd go over the 5 most useful redstone inventions that I use in my survival worlds. I use these all over the place in my builds. They make things so much easier, so much more compact, so much more efficient. I can't even begin to explain how many times I've used each of these with the exception of one. So without further ado, here is my top 5 most useful redstone inventions in Minecraft. Okay, so starting off at number 1, we have the Redstone Clock. I have known how to make this thing for so long, and it's so useful for multiple things. And you might ask yourself, okay, well, what is this used for? Say you have a dispenser or a piston or something that you want to flash on and off really quickly. This is how you get that kind of signal, and it's super easy to do. All you do is take 2 repeaters, put one that way, and connect them with redstone. That's the entire build, but there's a trick to starting it. What you have to do is you have to take the redstone torch, give it power, and you'll notice that if you break the torch, it still has power. And that's part of the trick to this, is it constantly powers itself. So what you want to do now is you want to take your redstone dust, quickly break this redstone, and then replace it. Now, if you do it too quickly, it may not work and you may have to try it again, but if you do it right, it'll start flashing like this. Just keep in mind, don't put too many of these in your world. It will cause a significant amount of lag, as it is a redstone device that is going on and off repeatedly. So make sure you use these sparingly. Try and hook up multiple devices to one repeater. You can also slow down the signal a little bit by changing the tick speed of the repeaters, but just keep in mind that you have to replace the redstone a little bit slower to get the signal to catch up. But this is incredibly useful. I use this for farms, I use this for pistons, I use this for so many different things, and I can't even begin to explain how useful this redstone device really is. Okay, and coming in at number 2, we have the standard flying machine for 1.16. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with flying machines, but I do see why they're useful on servers where you can't get an elytra or you can't travel very far very quickly. You can sit on top of one of these and just go AFK for a while, and it should basically carry you as far as you want as long as you don't run into anything. Really simple build, 4 slime blocks, a piston, a sticky piston, and then 2 observers. And all you really do is you just make it so that this observer activates and it should start moving forward. Now you want to break the block immediately after. I know people usually use flint and steel, but for some reason that's not working for me today. So do this and it begins to move forward. Now you can sit on top of this thing in a boat and the boat will get pulled along with it and you'll just keep going forever. I just put this obelisk here to make it so it would stop, but this is incredibly useful for making drawbridges. You can make it pull the blocks out with you. You can use it to go really far distances across servers, because in servers, you know, the coordinates start getting into the millions in some servers, so you want to be able to get really far out so people don't find your base. But yeah, this is incredibly useful and I highly recommend using this if you're on a server. And coming in at number 3 is one of my personal favorites, the 2x2 piston door. Now, a lot of people make these where the door just kind of retracts, but this one's kind of unique in that it sinks in first and then pulls back and goes flush again. So you see I activate the lever here, comes out, and then it pushes forward again so the wall stays flush. And again, really easy build. I've used these many times, but it's, I believe, 12 sticky pistons. You have 2 going across this way, 2 going across this way, and then you have the 2 going down right here to hold the black blocks here. And then on top, it's really just redstone on top of the pistons, a repeater here, a repeater here. So these repeaters sit on top of these pistons here, facing away from each other. And you do have to adjust the tick speed, so make sure you right click these twice to adjust this bar. That just makes it so that the signal comes out a little bit delayed, and then just more redstone. And all you need to do is power this center bar. So for here, just for sake of example, I used a lever, but in other builds I've dug up behind this and like made a little wall here with staircases that goes underground, and then you can even connect it to pressure plates here. And so you can just walk right in, it activates, and then it'll actually close right behind you. The only thing with that is you got to watch out for zombies and skeletons and creepers because they can activate pressure plates. But so the lever is kind of the easier option. I guess you could also use a button too, but all you have to do is make sure that it connects to this middle redstone here. As long as it connects to here, the door will function fine. And coming in at number 4 is one of my personal favorites that I've actually just learned about recently, this little trash compactor. If you've played survival Minecraft, you know you end up with a bunch of materials like seeds and things in your inventory that you have no use for. And this takes care of that. So what it does is it takes this chest, whatever you put in this chest goes to this hopper, which goes to this dispenser. And if you can see through the glass here, the dispenser spits right into lava. And now to make that activate only when there's items in the dispenser, you have this little mechanism here. So you have a sticky piston with an observer and this comparator. So when there's an item in here, the comparator activates the piston, which pushes this observer up, which causes a signal to be put through from the redstone coming out of this observer to the redstone sitting on top of the dispenser and shoots it into the lava. I'll just give you a quick demonstration here just to show you how it works. So again, redstone in the chest, and then it starts going up and down and it actually dispenses the redstone into the lava. And you can see here that it's going down. You can also check inside the dispenser if you're careful, and you can see it getting constantly shot out. This is incredibly useful if you have a clutter or storage problem, especially like I do. I hate organizing chests and I hate having to go through things and taking, an hour or two to just make sure everything's in the right spot. So this really helps with getting rid of those extra items that you are not going to use. But there is a better device to help with this, and that's our next and final redstone device. And so coming in at number 5, this is the item sorter. So this is a pretty ingenious piece of redstone. Lots of people use it. It's very helpful if you have a very large base or a base that you're going to be working on for a long time. But essentially what this does is you would basically make a bunch of these. So you'd put them side by side, like one here, one here, one here, one here, etc. And each one can be assigned a different item. So when you put your items in, say a hopper that'll be, I don't know, somewhere up here, it'll feed down and go through each of these top hoppers until it gets to the item that you're trying to sort, and then it'll put it in the chest. I just made one here just for the sake of example, but it's a super easy build. All you need is a redstone torch, some blocks, a repeater, some redstone going across here, and a comparator, and that's about it. Keep in mind though, with the hopper here, this hopper has to face this comparator. So make sure you're on the ground, you kind of shift and right click into the comparator. So you can see here, like the nozzle of the hopper is going into the comparator. And then the one underneath just goes straight down into a chest. This can be a double chest, it can be a single chest, it doesn't really matter. But you typically only use single chests because then you can stack these side by side and keep going. You can also put hoppers underneath this chest and extend it down. So if you make these really high up, you can have a massive storage system. Also, to get this to work, you have to put 44 items in these 4 slots here, so 11 in each slot, and it can't be the item you're trying to sort or any of the items you're trying to sort. So a simple way to do that is just to put it in an anvil and change the name. You can see it's the slime block. That makes it so that only slime blocks named block blah 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 can go into these slots, but because those don't exist, they never will. So it's a really good way to just make little placeholders. And then white concrete is what we're trying to sort right now. So I'll just give you an example of that. I'll go into creative, get some white concrete. There it is. And so what'll happen is you'll put it in here and you'll see it start dispensing out and going into this chest, but it'll only go into the chest that has a white concrete in it. If you have another one of these that's set up with the slime blocks, but it has, say, blue concrete, it'll skip over that one and go to this one. Now, this can be scaled up to a ridiculous size. So to demonstrate that, we're gonna pop over to my single player world that I showed at the very beginning of this channel to show my progress at making the biggest item sorter I could possibly see. Okay, so we're here. So this is my item storage system. So if we go upstairs, you can actually see where I started the sorting. So I made it so that you could just dump everything either into these chests or underneath these carpets here, there's hoppers. And what'll happen is they'll travel down and there's a big row. So I think it starts here. And so what it does is it travels along all the hoppers here, goes in and goes, okay, is it a cobblestone? No. Is it a dirt? No. Is it a diorite? No. And depending on which one it is, it'll keep going across and sort it all into these chests. Now this is a bit excessive. I made this intending to play this file for a long time, and I've just been busy. I even started another file, which I may show off in another video. But you can see here, I have all my items sorted. I put them in the chests and it just goes through. I don't have any cobblestone because I was building some stuff, but here you got dirt, you got your diorite, and it's just a super easy way to just get home, put a shulker on top of the hopper, or just dump your items in the hopper, and then it just auto sorts it and everything is where you need it. And that's gonna wrap it up for my top 5 redstone contraptions I use in my survival worlds. If this video helped you out, please leave a like, and if it really helped you out, please subscribe. Take care.